This is My So-Called Whatever. I'm Brooke.
And I'm Nikki.
And we have a message to get out.
Yes, we do.
Joe McIntyre, we want to interview you. So, listen, Joey McIntyre, if you're listening. So, can I just tell you something that would be awesome?
What would that?
Of
course you can.
When we get Joey McIntyre.
Oh my gosh. Can he just go, give me love, give me all your love?
Yes, he can.
That thing pumps me up.
How do we get him on the show?
Right. I'm ready for this. Probably not.
Waiting your whole life for this.
That was a little pressure.
What's your name? Brooke and Nikki. Brooke and Nikki.
Brooke, I thought your name was Brooke and Nikki. Your name is Brooke and your name is Nikki. Hi, we're here at the beautiful Biltmore Hotel. They say there's ghosts here. We're having a great time. Sorry you couldn't be here. Thanks for the love, and see you next time.
Plus, if we get that interview with Joe McIntyre, what we gonna do? Could you imagine?
If his manager reached out?
If he called me and he was like, hey.
I'm quite excited. I'm very excited.
I'm elated.
Nikki, this is her, this would be like a dream come true over and over again.
What am I gonna do? Because this is gonna happen.
I hope you don't go mute.
Okay, you can't let me do that.
I won't.
Slap me.
I'm not going to slap you.
I think you should. That one moment in life that changed everything.
Right.
I can tell you right now what my one moment was.
Do I already know what it was?
You already know what it is.
Yeah. Well, spill it.
And honestly, you guys have to understand the whole backstory of it, which someday we'll get into again. But it was when Joey McIntyre sang to me. And that sounds so crazy and so seriously. But I will tell you right now, when something like that happens in your life, you believe that anything is possible. I never believed anything was possible until that moment. And now I believe anything is possible. Hey, listen, we want to interview you. But we keep saying interview, but it really isn't an interview.
It's not really interview. It's like a conversation.
It's like, we want to hang out with you.
Like co-host.
Right, exactly. We want to sit down and have a conversation. If you guys want to help, you can start using the hashtag. What is it again?
That's a good question.
Mission Interview Joey 2018. We have Jackie and Maria that are doing an undercover secret mission for us.
They are. Oh my goodness.
And as soon as
that just made my stomach go bloop bloop.
They get on the cruise, we will tell you what it is.
Yep.
We had some pretty decent help with it.
Yes, we did.
Jackie and Maria, and then Christine helping us come up with an amazing idea.
Yeah.
So. Ding, 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 ding.
Hashtag.
That was a weird sound. That's not really what I was going for, but Mission Interview Joey 2018. Should we talk about that?
Let's talk about it.
So, first of all, since we started the podcast, we've been talking about having Joe McIntyre on the podcast.
Since day one.
Pretty much because he really sparked it. Honestly.
I agree with that.
I mean, made us think that anything is possible.
Because what would be more fun than a recorded message on a mixtape and finding a Walkman?
Yes.
It's a gift.
So that's what we started to do. We talked about Mission Interview Joey 2018.
That was awesome.
Can you believe it? So if that can happen, do you think Mission Interview Joey can happen?
I do.
Do you really think it's going to happen?
I do. I don't know when, but I think it'll happen.
It's like Maria said. She said, Nikki, if you waited 30 years, what's 2 more years?
That's right.
It's 5 more years.
It's true.
Joey McIntyre, I'll wait for you. I'll just be here. Waiting. Sitting here waiting.
I got to do the so-called whatever podcast with you guys. Okay. All right.
Joey, if you're listening. Joey, can you hear me? Thank you so much. We are looking forward to having you on our podcast.
I didn't say podcast. I was just saying my song called Whatever. And I was like, you know them, you've heard of it. He was like, yeah.
What? What?
It reminded him, he knows about it.
Speaking of being persistent.
Yes. Well, speaking of being persistent.
And trying to get someone on the podcast.
Yes.
Somebody.
Yes.
A wonderful person.
Yes.
By the name of Joy.
Yes.
Took her moment
This was
Her
her
moment.
moment. This was her moment. Okay. So this
To
was,
ask
yes.
Joey anything.
Right.
And she asked him to be on our podcast. Please,
sure
please,
did.
please, please, please.
Just like that.
And guess what?
Guess
he said,
what? Guess what he said?
He said
Long
it was
overdue or something
long
like that.
overdue. Yes, because he knows we've been asking.
We have been asking and asking and asking. And you guys, it's seriously just like Joy said, it takes a village. And you guys are our village. And you guys, we couldn't have done this without you. Absolutely not. From the video that Jade created to you guys, when you had moments with Joe saying, you got to go on the My So-Called Whatever podcast. Like, seriously.
Right, exactly.
3 years is coming up.
That's crazy.
It would be awesome to have Joey on for our 3-year anniversary.
It would.
That is like my dream. That is what I hope.
All right. Are we ready?
Hit it.
All right. This is Brooke.
And this is Nikki.
And this is Joe Mac.
And this is My So-Called Whatever.
Courageous. How brave this is of me. You know, when they say brave. Oh, it's brave of her to
so brave.
walk out the door, no makeup on.
Right. You are so brave.
This is my COVID cut that I finally kind of shaved down, and I don't know what it is.
So did you do it yourself?
Yeah, well, you know, I was doing it just really trim, and then I went to we have a place outside of Boston, so we're back on the East Coast, and there were some clippers there, and I just went that first one too soon, and I was like, well, there's no turning back now. Let's go. And then like my wife kind of helped me with the back because it looked crazy, but it has its moments, you know. I can't really tell in this thing.
I think it's great.
I think it looks great.
About it, yeah. Anyways, how are you guys doing?
Good. So we like to look at this as less of an interview and more like a conversation.
Great.
That's just typically how we kind of do it.
Yeah. Well, I ramble a lot, so I don't think it's going to feel like a regular interview. I don't think normally.
That's amazing.
Perfect.
That's like nice. So you guys,
you're not dreaming. This is happening.
This is happening. This is happening like now.
The quest is over.
Today on our 3-year anniversary of the podcast.
Really? Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's kind of amazing that you happen to be here. It just happened to like fall in line that you're here on the 3-year anniversary. You were kind of the inspiration.
You really were.
Me?
You were
for this podcast.
Yeah, you were.
Like you.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you said Nikki. I got some inside info. Nikki's a Joe girl, but
yes.
Brooke, where do you land on the spectrum? Is it anything specific or?
So here's the thing. I am a Jordan girl.
Yeah.
I have been since 1989.
Me
that
too.
being said, I love all of you so much. And this particular show 3 years ago at Mohegan Sun was our first Barstools.
Right.
And it was pretty amazing. Nikki, I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Sure. We hadn't watched any of the concert because I wanted it to be a surprise.
No spoilers. Yeah.
And so we met you and you asked us where we were sitting, and I said in the corner, and you're like, oh, that's the magic corner or whatever. And I was like, yeah, right. You know, he's just saying, you know, that's, you know, whatever. And then it was the magic corner. Like you came and sang to me, and
did I grab your hand on remix and everything? Or is that on the back on If You Go Away?
If You Go Away.
Okay, there you go.
I was like, this doesn't happen to people. Like, this is a dream come true. There must be other people that have stories like this. And so we started thinking, and I came up with the idea of doing a podcast sharing people's New Kids on the Block fan stories, like things that you guys, they've met you and They want to tell their story, and we've done it for 3 years. And we also talk about like 80s and 90s nostalgia. So
Congratulations. It's no small feat to do anything for 3 years, but for you to do this, that's very, very cool. And I know how much the Block Nation loves it. So and to know that I had something to do with it at all was very, very cool.
yeah, it was a big surprise because I thought you were going behind me. So I was just like, oh, you're stepping down to go. And then all of a sudden it was happening.
Oh.
Yes, because I was like, wait a minute, he's putting his foot on the thing where feet don't go.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the little ledge
Well,
where you put your drink.
Yeah, where your drinks are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm like, why is his foot right there?
Some people don't get it at all. Like you sounded like you recovered enough to like realize halfway through. It's like, do I have to like, sit on you to realize I'm about to sing to you? Go with me here. I can be really picky sometimes. Like I love being on stage. But there are moments when if things are unreasonably off, not like something like this, I can really make an ordeal of it. Someone's going to hear about it.
This time went really well.
Good.
Yeah.
I love that song. I love taking the time to sing that part of the song to, one of you guys and just making it a moment. And it's really love singing that song, love the history of that song. And yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah. I love that song too.
So we, that was our first Barstools. It certainly wasn't our last Barstools after that. So we've enjoyed all the stories that we've heard and the people we've met, the friends we've made, the things that we've been able to do because of the podcast and because of you. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's so great. It's so great.
And this was a real community effort because we have grown quite the community.
Yeah.
And we've had like hashtag mission interview Joey 2017, 18, 19, 20. So thanks guys.
Yeah.
But thanks guys.
Yes. If it weren't for you guys, this wouldn't be happening. So thank you.
You kind of have like Howard Stern have his Baba Booies, you know what I mean? You had your people that were like, do the interview.
And they do it out of the kindness of their heart, and they listen to the podcast and they want to hear you on it. So now they get to, and we're just so happy.
Yes. I like the background picture there.
So this painting, it's pretty cool. It's
happy.
Happy. And it's up on which makes me think, happy is up there with all the wires and the electricity, and which means happiness is risky, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
We have to take risks to be happy. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. You gotta go for it. And how did you guys come up with the name?
My so-called whatever?
Yeah.
So because we're like 80s, 90s nostalgia and New Kids on the Block podcast, we were kind of thinking of a name that like we didn't want to use your name and our name.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know if that was cool or not. Like we didn't know if like we were able to or not. So we were like, oh.
Right. It's kind of smart though, because it gives you some autonomy too, even though it's a lot of it is based around the group. It's like it's your own thing,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that.
Well, thanks.
And so we took.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. You go. I
no. Well, we took My So-Called Life, the show, like the show.
Yeah.
Which is like quintessential, like 90s teenage, drama. So we took My So-Called and then whatever.
Yeah.
Like Clueless, just, that whole vibe. And we put it together.
Right. Perfect. Gives you a lot of freedom.
It does.
What how many episodes have you done?
185.
This will be
86.
Oh.
I think it's 186. I could be wrong, but yeah, we were doing.
I feel like it's going to be 184, but it's like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were doing 2 a week when we started, which was insane. Like that was stupid. That was really dumb.
No.
I got burnt out really fast because I do all the editing and stuff, and and we take breaks too. We didn't before.
You got an off season, you gotta, like HBO, you gotta keep them wanting more and refreshing the creative juices.
So, Nikki,
yeah,
I really just want you to share with Joe okay. You know what story I want you to share.
Yes, I know.
Uh-oh.
I really want her to tell you this because this is like the stories that this podcast is like kind of based on, like people that maybe they've never met you, but everyone has a story. This is Nikki's story before she met you.
Right. So, okay. I was 9. And New Kids on the Block were new, like for me. And you were my favorite. And my grandparents were taking a drive, and it was the first time I was going to leave the state of Maine because that's where we're from. And I knew that we were going to be going through Boston. So I said, you guys, New Kids on the Block live in Boston. And my grandfather was like, yep. And I was like, Joey McIntyre lives in Boston. And he said, you know what? I think I know somebody that knows where he lives. So let me see if I can find out where he lives and maybe we can swing by. So of course, I'm so excited. And we drive to Boston. We pull up in front of this house. And my grandparents are like, okay, go get some grass and put it in a baggie. And so I'm like, okay. So I go and I get some grass and I put it in a baggie and I hop back in the car. And for years and years and years, I thought it was your house. Like I thought I had visited Joey McIntyre's house.
Oh my God. He didn't do that. Did he really do that? God bless him.
He thought he knew how important it was to me. And so he just made it happen. And I believed it for years and years until actually just a few years ago. Like a couple years ago, we did like a little tour of Boston and we drove by your house in Jamaica Plain. And I was like, yeah, that's not the house. That's definitely not the house.
Oh my God. I wonder what house that was. Do you know if it was even in Jamaica Plain or?
No, I don't. It was one of those things. I was old enough to kind of know we were in Massachusetts, but who even knows if we were in Boston? They just said we were.
Oh yeah.
And yeah. So
how sweet though.
He was an amazing man. He was like a second dad to me, and he just knew how important it was for me and he is like smiling right now. Like he's like, I can't believe this is happening for her. Like she finally gets to talk to him. And
oh my God.
So that's the story. There's actually one other little story that goes along with this, and it's actually something we did on the cruise. So I was, again, a huge fan, and so I would decorate paper plates, like do all kinds of designs on them for like your birthday and for like just to let everybody know that like a Joey McIntyre fan and New Kids on the Block fan lived in this house. And I was like, I did it with the thought of you weren't that far away. Like you were in Massachusetts and maybe someday you would drive by and see my paper plates.
She lived on a dead-end street.
So it's people laugh about it, but that's the other story. And we ended up doing for every story and up until the cruise, I did a paper plate for that person and like designed it, and then we hung it outside our door. So it was like,
oh my God,
they had like pictures on them.
A couple hundred plates. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was
so
a
you
lot.
did stories. Wait a minute, you made them for guests of the show, or wow?
Everybody who sent in a story got a paper plate.
I got you.
And so,
God.
So that's the paper plate story, and it's embarrassing, but there it is.
I mean, how much more grassroots, like no pun intended, could your fandom be? I mean, just all American paper plates and grass. That's what we grew up with. You know, these kids today have everything. We basically had paper plates and grass.
That's what we had.
That's pretty much it. You know, some crayons, some paper plates, and get out there, and I'll see you at dinner time.
Right.
You know?
Hey, it was the best grass I ever had, and I saved that forever in that little plastic bag. That wasn't Joey McIntyre's grass.
Oh my goodness. Did your parents know?
No. When I got home, I told them and they were like, "Are you sure? Are you know?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, it happened." And then of course I went to school and told everybody and they were like, "You're lying." I'm like, "I am not lying. I went to Joey McIntyre's house." So all of you that are listening, I know it wasn't him, but guess what? He's on our podcast now, so
yeah, so it's all good. And you meant it. You weren't lying. You believed it.
Right,
so,
right. And he never told me the difference. So
oh my goodness.
Yep.
So sweet. Grandpa's
that's the story.
Good man.
He really was, yeah.
Very, very cute.
So did you want to share that picture from our group?
So as we told you, we get some stories, and they're really awesome stories about you guys. And I'm going to share my screen really quick. The people that are listening won't be able to see it, but they've seen it in the group. All right. So we've had a lot of people that met your dad.
The old man.
And the stories, I just think it was so awesome of him to be like, hey, let's take a I mean, look at him. So this story is from Jennifer Sexton. And she said she was going through old photos and found this gem. Me and Mr. McIntyre on his front porch in Jamaica Plain. I believe it was around 1990-91. And then she goes to say, I was on vacation with my parents in Boston, and I had seen Joey's house in one of the New Kids books. My dad said, well, let's see if we can find it. I can't believe we actually did. My parents told me to go up to the house and knock on the door. I was terrified. They said it was a once-in-a-lifetime chance, and I would regret it if I didn't, so I did. Mr. McIntyre answered the door, and I asked if Joey was home. He wasn't, of course, but he let me step into the house for a moment, which is amazing. My mom was in front of the house and then sat on the porch and chatted with me for a little while. Such a sweet man. I'll never forget it. So we just wanted to share that with you because that is just the sweetest thing in the world.
Yeah. He's there's a lot of those pictures out there. For sure. He took a lot of those pictures in front of 20-0, as he would say, because it was 20 Orchard Street, and he would say 20-0. And he loved that house. You know, when he passed a couple of years ago, and it was probably, actually, it was only it was less than 2 weeks before he passed away. And but he was going through a couple of tough times, and he was in the hospital, and he just wanted to get out of the hospital and back into his, you know, nice little assisted living spot. And a couple of tough nights in the hospital, and we get him back, and he was so happy to be back in his bed, you know, and he's singing songs and telling jokes, and we're like, oh geez, he's back to his normal self. And it was a sweet time. But the writing was on the wall, so to speak, and which is so tough. You know, I think one of the things that I said after that is like, you know, it's funny in life, they don't really, you know, being born and dying are the two biggest important things that happen in life. Right. And there's a lot they don't tell you about. Like, for instance, I mean, the joke is, you know, seeing a child born, you know what I mean? For it's one thing for a woman to actually birth a child. I mean, it's the greatest thing ever. And you can't even put it to words, but for a husband or a partner to see it happen, it's just mind blowing, you know, and they don't like, well, you didn't tell me about that. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And I guess it's for a reason, you know what I mean? It's funny. It's like this sacred experience that, like, you know, in this world that people get so specific about, and so that we share everything, you know, it's really, you know, kind of sacred of, you know, being born. And then when someone dies that's close to you, not so much in the traumatic sense, but just, thankfully of natural causes of being old. There's just certain things that just blow your mind that can never, you can never really articulate. And I guess you just, as hard as it is to go through, you feel lucky to have walked that journey with that person and been a witness to, that part of life, the end of life. But I remember when he settled down that night and we were all kind of there and he had a meal and he was laying in bed and I went in and I said, "We're so lucky, Dad. We're so lucky." And my dad was he reminded us and me a lot that, the very simple, it's a simple statement, but like life is a positive experience. And some of us, need to be reminded of that more than others. Some of us are blessed. We all know those people that are just bubbly all the time, that are smiling all the time, that they just found the key or were blessed with the key. We all have gifts. We all have gifts that, in my opinion, God gave us. And then we all have struggles and we all have journeys, but like some of us are just blessed and some people are just, man, do they just wake up like that? You know what I mean? I'm sure, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah. And we're also grateful for those people. But my dad, for a lot of reasons, but just the reminder that life is a positive experience. And so when I said to him, we are so lucky, like he could have said a million things, but what he said was, he said, Brigham Bowlaway. Brigham Bowlaway was a bowling alley that he and his buddy owned when he was in his 30s, late 30s, around 40 years old. They bought this first they managed this bowling alley. They make a few bucks. They both had families, they were hustling. My dad always had 2-3 jobs. He had the good union job, bricklaying, working his way up, but he did this thing. And then they managed it. And then the lady was like, "Do you want to buy this place?" And he was like, buy this, because my dad came from nothing, like most of that generation, just very working class, out of the Depression, it's sort of the end of the Depression. I was the youngest of 9. So the generation of, it was my parents weren't the same age as your parents, even though we were kind of the same age, Mm-hmm. And he said, "Brigham Bowlaway." And what happened was Brigham Bowlaway, they managed it. Then they got to buy it. Then when they sold Brigham Bowlaway, he had some money to buy that house, 20 Orchard Street, 20. First house he ever owned, and the only house he ever owned. And, and I want to say that, the son of a bitch owned it at the end of his life. You know what I'm saying? Like he would always say, because my dad, my dad and my mom had a very tumultuous, wild, only people they ever loved, a lot, 9 kids, the whole 9. But my dad, he wasn't super prudent and conservative with his money. You know what I mean? Granted, he fed 9 kids. You know what I mean? He supported 9 kids. if any of my siblings asked if he could help with college, he would laugh at them. You know what I mean? Like, no, but he was, so the funny thing we always say, like my mom would be looking down, not happy that actually when he did pass away, he actually owned the house, because like people in his position, he would mortgage the house to do different things, to help out, to have money to pay, and he owned that house, and we were able to, he always wanted to leave it to the kids and whack it up 9 ways, as he would say. And sure enough, that dream came true because he had a lot of faith. He had a lot of faith, and sometimes that doesn't mean you're gonna end your life with some money in the bank. But anyways, when I see those pictures and I see so many of you come by and sit on those steps, I think of that spirit, and that life is a positive experience. And he would say to me often about the new kids, that we were a force for good. We were a force for good. And he said that a lot when when the natural thing of being such a phenomenon, you're going to have your naysayers. And, I think our generation back then, it was really us against them. Like nowadays, people share so much on social media that anytime you hate, people are going to come to defend you. You know what I mean? Or there's a lot of, as much as we like to say that, oh, it's such a toxic time out there, like you're going to get a lot of shit nowadays if you try to hate and come, you better come correct and come with some facts, because if not, you're going to get taken out, but back then it wasn't the case. It was us, our fans, and if writers in the media and DJs, and that was pretty much it. And then, older kids that weren't into us and all that stuff. But when that started happening, he just found it so hilarious, that anyone would even try to think that this was anything but an amazing experience, And part of that is human nature, and part of that is you can't take it personally. You know what I mean? We all kind of shit on different things, and that's just part of life. And we don't always mean to hurt people's feelings and all that stuff. I think that's a big part of it. I try not to give too much voice or power to those people, because lots of times they don't even mean it. They're on to the next thing anyways, Right. But he knew he was our biggest fan. He was our biggest fan. I mean, all our parents loved us, but like he was our biggest fan, and he thought it was such a kick in the ass in a great way to know that kids were coming to his house to, try to meet his kids, So there you go. One picture and I'm off to the races. I told you. It's
no, thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just an amazing person. I wish I got a chance to meet him. I wish I actually got to the right house and maybe I could have knocked on the door.
To think it was that easy, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, we never realized it. Like we would go, Brooke and I, we drove to Boston when it was like late 90s. We decided one night, we're going to drive to Boston. We would never in a million years think, maybe we can drive by Donnie Wahlberg's house or Joey McIntyre's house. And I mean, you had a house at that time. Oh gosh, I can't remember. I'm sorry.
Oh, when? It was in
it
Brookline.
was like late 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. It was in Brookline, and it was a big white house. It was nowhere to hide. It was right there. Yeah.
Was it the one from MTV Cribs? Is that the one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was just gonna say, I think it was the Cribs house.
Right.
Yeah.
Thinking how many times we could have just like drove by and been like, hey, That like
Yeah.
blows our mind. It completely blows our mind. So
Yeah.
you guys are
You
so
blew
great.
it. You
I
blew it.
did. I
Yeah.
did. Did.
We could have
All
driven
meant to be.
by.
Yes.
Yeah.
We also missed you. 1999, you came to Portland, Maine. And I was like, we got to get there. We got to get there before he gets there. So maybe we can see him because I'd never seen you before. And this was my first concert ever. 1999, first concert ever.
Wow.
Solo Joey McIntyre. It was like the world had opened up. Like this was going to be it.
Wow.
And we got there and there was a guy, Clinton Sparks, that was out there.
Oh yeah.
We lined up and he's like, you just missed him. He was just here. And I was like, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, guys.
Unbelievable.
I just missed him. But
yeah, it was a good show, though.
It was a great show. It was a great show.
It was amazing.
It was in a theater, right? Was it in the theater?
Yes,
State Theater.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was an older theater. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an amazing
had signs.
we stuck in signs. Yes, we stuck in a sign that said, Joey Joe, you make us want to play our guitar. I don't have no idea. It didn't really make sense, but we held it up and you pointed at us.
Have I seen that more than once though? Was that the only time you've brought that anywhere?
Yeah, that was the only time. It was on bright fluorescent green paper. Like it was like enormous.
It kind of rings a bell, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just
But it was a good show. Stay the Same was
yes.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a great tour and a great year, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, you know.
Man.
We really want to hear you sing "Stay the Same" live.
Yes,
I know. I don't sing that enough. Actually, I don't. You know, I've toured. Well, you know, I perform live. You know, solo stuff enough. I mean, it could be more, but like I do it here and there. It's like, yeah, I think I should just sing the damn song. I just sometimes it doesn't fit into the set, and I don't want to. You know, I think it just has to I shouldn't overthink it, but yeah,
correct.
I'll sing it more often. It is, you know, not
that is one I would kill to hear.
Yeah,
I think you sang it on the cruise, the number 9, but we weren't on that cruise, right? I think you sang it on when you did a performance because it was raining.
Yeah. Oh, did I sing? Really?
I could be wrong, and people are probably like, Nikki, that's not right. That's not right.
I don't. Oh, yeah. In the big rotunda, like in the the lobby of the boat. I don't think so because the guy who was playing the piano was the guy on the ship. So I don't know if he was a huge.
That's right. You sang Elvis on that one, and that's when I was like, why wasn't I there?
I sang for 3 hours, so I don't know. I sang a lot of songs. You know?
Sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I thought I knew it, but I don't.
Wow.
Just putting that out there.
You should have like some sort of a bell or a wah, or something like that. You know, for the lives. Bring in a fact checker at the end. Hi, and yes, there were 3 lies and 4 maybes.
Yeah. I know we'll get tweets. Nikki, I can't believe you didn't know that. I blew it. Then multiple times. So
no, I mean the grass kind of takes the cake. So after the grass, I mean everything is like nothing. You know, for 30 years you thought you had my grass. So after that, like everything is gravy. Yeah, no big deal. No big deal.
Right. Yeah. So when people did come to your house, I have this question. Were there times that you were like to your dad's house? Were there actually times where you were home?
It was one time, I actually, when I did, I mean, I've done, a lot of shows and different cabarets, and sometimes it's with the band or rock or whatever. It's like I rock out, or sometimes, but I did do kind of an official one-man show and ended up doing it in Denver for a few weeks, bunch of years ago now. I mean, time flies, but I think it was 2013. And I got very specific, I think, in one of the times where, you know, I was 16. I was just able to rent a car somehow, like, because I shouldn't have been able to rent a car. But someone rented it for me, and I drove it around. And I just wanted to go to my house. You know what I mean? And I don't even know if I lived there at the time, because my parents were separated by then, and I think we had moved out. Because when my parents separated, we moved out, but then we moved back in, and then we moved out. But I just wanted to go by. And I was driving down because you just wanted to do, like, haven't been home for a year, and I just wanted to check in and just, you know. And, you know, it's funny. You'd think, oh, I'm just driving by. I'm not going in. You know what I mean? Because there were probably 50 people out there or something like that. And they're just, you know, camping out. And, you know, they hit the fucking jackpot. Here comes Joey McIntyre down the street. He fucking did it. You picked the right day. It's fucking nuts. And so fucking shit's fucking flying. It's 4th of July. There's fucking confetti, streamers. It's nuts. And I decide, we never pull up. My dad never used a driveway, you know what I mean? But we pulled up, and it's tiny, and I got this car, and I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, I pull up and run in, and at first they don't even know, right? They're like, what? You know what I mean? And they're like trying to figure it out. So I think I like kind of get in there. This is a small neighborhood. The house is, you know, your average, you know, middle-class neighborhood at the time. And so it's, so I sneak in there, and I get out, and I go in the back door, and my sister's like, what the hell are you doing here? You know, she's like, what are you doing? And I think I just wanted to get something or whatever, but I was just like, oh shit. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh God. And now they know I'm there. You know what I mean? This is like, it's tiny. I mean, this is a small, there's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And I'm just, and it's 1989. So it's not like, it's just, it's nuts. You know, there's no real selfie situation. There's no real conversation. It's just, it's all or nothing at all. You know what I mean? So I wasn't going to stop, and I get back. Plus we probably had one day off, and I just wanted to get out of there and see my friends and drive around in my car. And my rented, I think it was a yellow Mustang or something like that. You know, what most kids would want to drive. Right. So I did this crazy, I'm backing out, some other car finds out, and I'm backing out of my driveway, and I think like another car comes like in and sort of boxes me out. So like I like literally, like, there's not, the fact that like I didn't crash the car is like crazy, because I backed out and had to go over the sidewalk and then like take off. And you know, some girl is, oh, in my one-man show, I said, and it was sort of a callback, as we say, you know what I mean? Like you make a joke early on in a show, and then, you know, later on in the show, you make a callback about it. And so I guess what I said was, when I was driving down the street, some girl, you know, was trying to hang on to the car and get away. And like, I look back in my rearview mirror, and she's on her knees, and she's screaming and crying and saying, I made you a quilt. Oh no. Because early on in the show, I talk about all the stuff you guys made, and the posters and the hats and vests. Everybody had vests on, you know, and quilts. People were making quilts, you know. So, you know, some girl had a quilt for me, you know, crying that she didn't get to give me the quilt, you know. And as we know, it's funny because it's true, right? I mean, it's not, you know, I'm not exaggerating. There was some crazy shit. And then so you have all that fun, that huge spectrum of fandom, you know, just, oh, just here for fun, here because I'm crazy about him, here because I want to kiss him, here because I'm crazy, here because I'm sad and I want to be happy, here because I'd be anywhere. It like has nothing to do with us. It's like the other thing when someone's psycho, people go, wow, they're crazy about it. No, if it wasn't me, it'd be somebody else. It just happens to be, and then you have people that really need help and it's not funny at all. There's a whole spectrum of that somewhere there. But yeah.
I wonder where that quilt girl is.
Yeah. We need to find her.
Quilt.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's listening.
She's out there. I mean,
she is.
It's a living, breathing, multi-headed blockhead. There's not just one quilt girl. She might have, in my one-man show might have just been an amalgamation of many quilt
girls.
Many quilt girls.
Quilters? I don't know.
Quilters.
Mender.
Seamstress.
Sewers, seamstress. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh gosh. That's
spinsters.
Funny.
We'll call them spinsters. Yeah.
Oh man. I can't imagine. I can't. No. I don't know. How many quilts do you think you got?
By the way, I still got recently a quilt. People are still in the quilt business. Yeah.
Wow.
Now they're very, they're high tech. They have printed pictures of you. You know what I mean? They're not pictures of you anymore,
People used to stitch pictures of you into the quilt. I bet they did.
You know what?
I bet they did.
It makes me think of. There's a couple of venues, but there's one particular venue. I think it's Kansas City. It's not Nashville. Where you go into catering and somebody, I think the owner of the arena's granddaughter thinks she's a good artist. And so she paints all the artists. And so you're it's like Picasso, you know what I mean? It's hilarious. Or they'll get your eyes the right way, but everybody's mouth is the same. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or it's just exaggerated, art. Yeah. Art is a funny thing. And you're sort of thank you. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Hey, I made you something. I'm positive you didn't get it, but I made you a Walkman.
Did you leave it on the lawn?
No, I didn't leave it on the lawn, but I had somebody
deliver
a Walkman.
It.
I made you a Walkman. It was a bedazzled Walkman
with a mixtape.
Yes, with a mixtape. I actually
when?
This was the 2009 cruise. I
was going to say. I said that sounds very retro.
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah,
no, it was 2017 cruise.
2017 cruise. Sorry, 2017 cruise. And I made you headphones that were bedazzled. It was a production.
It was our first.
Listen, let's get real. Let's get real here. If you put that much work into it, don't give it to anybody unless it's the intended new kid. Okay.
Right. Well, you know what? I knew it probably wouldn't get to you. I wasn't I'm
delusional.
It was fun.
I was going to say delusional, but
it did it between your paper plates. I get it.
It was so fun. It was fun to make. It was.
You ran out of paper plates. You had some bedazzled stuff, and you said, "You know what? Let me keep busy." Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, that sounds amazing.
It's fun, and I made you a mixtape like the old days, but it was I did it digitally, and then I ran it through a regular tape player, and we did it. That was our first Mission Interview Joey 2017. That was our first time we tried to get your attention. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did it on the cruise?
Yeah, we did it. Well, we weren't on the cruise. So we had our friends Maria and Jackie. Shout out to Maria and Jackie. We had them deliver it for us. And it was a bag, and then we got your favorite candy. Or somebody told us it was your favorite candy.
Or what we saw your favorite candy was on the internet somewhere. Or...
Yeah, we filled the bag full of stuff, and on the top was the Walkman. But I've got a second one, so maybe, just maybe someday you'll get that one.
Is it bedazzled yet?
It's half bedazzled.
Right.
Because I had to use the rest of them for my shoes. for
There
the
you go.
cruise.
Always have a backup one. See, that's a
Yes.
good plan. Always have a backup gift for your intended new kids so that you get it out there, might get to them. If not, you have a backup, and next time
That's right.
it's hand to hand. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Have you listened? Do you guys have old cassette tapes from back in the day?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's only one answer to this question. How good do they sound?
They sound amazing.
Amazing.
It
They're
gives you
amazing.
goosebumps when you listen to it. I like that like sound, like the
That
Yes.
sound, yes. But even that's but the sound, we think we live in the digital age.
Mhm.
So it's all measured to what we normally hear. You put in a tape. Hold on. I'll show you.
all right.
This is some exclusive stuff right here.
I'm
Hold on.
excited.
We won't be able to play it, but hold on.
Okay.
right.
Take 2 minutes. All right. Yeah, you're gonna have to use this and do a lot of zoomage, whatever.
Yeah.
right. Zoomage.
I sign off completely on this zoomage. Okay. You see that?
Yes.
Yes.
You see what it says?
1984, early
84.
85.
Oh, early 85 messages.
Messages. So
No.
what is it?
It's from your recorder. It's from your machine, your answering machine.
This isn't $100,000 pyramid. Okay, slow down. Things in your home, things that record, things that play things back. Things. It's okay. Okay. There's no time. There's no timer on this. But yes,
I get excited.
It's your answering machine, right? Remember
Yes.
answering machines?
Yes.
Yes.
This is the tape from 1984, early 85, messages. On the other side is the demo for Please Don't Go Girl.
Stop it.
Oh,
That's
my gosh.
insane.
And if you want to, probably the top two people that I can't help it. I already cried about my dad, but the other person that makes me cry when I see her is one Mary Alfred, who we call M. Lou, who was as instrumental as anybody else in putting the New Kids on the Block together. And she is a saint and an angel. And I have no proof, but I believe 100% that she wrote Joey Joe.
Oh.
She gave me this tape, and it is the demo of, I don't know who's singing. The other guys would know who was singing it. It's a little bit different. There is a talking part. You know that second verse when Jordan says, "Tell me you'll stay." You know, like before that, I don't sing. It's just an instrumental.
Mm-hmm.
There was talking. It was like, "Baby, I love you. Please don't go, girl."
Oh
you know,
my
it was that
God.
stuff. And that didn't happen. But, so not only that, there's a little piece of history, New Kids history, boy band history, in this tape. And so I found it as I was moving the last couple of years. And I couldn't believe not only the quality and how good it sounds and the warmth that you get from tape. This thing is 35 years old, this tape. 36 years old.
Yeah.
It's 36 years old. It has messages, phone messages on it that were taped over with, back in the day with mixtapes, and you wanted to hear a radio show, right? Your favorite DJ was playing from 8 to 9. You made a tape of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that is on top of the messages. And on top of that is Please Don't Go Girl, the demo. And it sounds amazing. And I know I sound like some old dude going, it's all about wax and records, man. They sound the best. Well, tape sounds amazing. It will blow your mind. and I can't believe it. And
Yes.
so that's the story of how I feel about tape and
I love it.
its demo.
I love that you
Isn't
have
wild?
that.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? I love that too. It's really pretty damn cool. So there you go. And I learned it and I sang the shit out of it.
Yes, you did.
And you
Thanks
still
to
do.
Lord. Yeah, I do. It was sweet. Maurice Starr, man, he knew how to make records, and he was a gentle guy in the studio. You felt very taken care of, and you worked hard. I mean, there weren't that many tricks either. There was no auto-tune back then, so you had to deliver. And yeah, sweet stuff.
And you delivered.
I did my job. I was lucky enough to have the opportunity and love singing that song for sure. I continue to get to sing that song.
Well, we love it that you sing it. So keep singing it. Keep singing it forever.
I will.
So I just wanted to say real quick, just as a thank you from all of us to you. The virtual cruise was amazing. It really, during that time, I mean, a lot of states and people are still in quarantine, and some are not anymore, but during that time it was the right thing that we all needed, and we didn't realize we needed it, but we needed it, and we thank you. It was amazing.
Yes.
Absolutely
it was
incredible.
It was.
That's awesome. Yeah. It was again, it was important for us, and it was a gift to be active and stay busy and take some action, and of course, to be able to somehow give back and just be there with you guys, so it was a give and take for sure.
Yeah. And just you guys doing the lives too, that was great. I mean, because all of us, we were all held up in our houses, and the whole family would sit and watch it. So
that's great.
It was
fun. I think we'll I don't know when you guys are gonna air this, but we're working on another one, so we don't do them as often, but we're gonna try to do another one.
That's awesome. Oh, we're excited. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get this out Monday, we're thinking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
As long as everything goes well, Monday it will be.
I thought you were going to take, 3 years to promote it. It took 3 years to get to me. But, why not stretch it out,
We actually have a party tonight. We're doing like a Zoom party for our anniversary.
Yeah.
And we're not going to say anything. So, and then we're going to tell them, remember that party? We had just talked to Joe before, and it will be fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're just gonna drop it.
That's gangster. That's gangster. That's cold-blooded, because I would think you were going to announce it that we got him during the party, but I think that's pretty cold-blooded that you were like, oh, and you guys knew. You mean you knew? I love it.
Maybe someday we can have Joey on the podcast. So we're gonna put all those in the beginning, and then
God.
Yeah, and then we'll
I can't even imagine how many times we've said it. How many times have we said?
I don't know.
Joey, if you're listening, Joey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You might have a huge hangover. You and your audience might have a massive hangover come next week. So just let it be. Let it be. Feel the feelings, and you will keep going. But it's been a long time coming.
So we wanted to talk to you about meet and greets, because that's like that's what a lot of people aim to do. They want to do a meet and greet. And we were able to meet you. I met you for the first time. We met you for the first time. It was like 2013, was it, Brooke?
Yes.
Yes. The package tour, I think it was. And we didn't know that you went down the line, like that you went like down and went to each person. So I just ran to you because I was first in line, and Jordan jumped out and was like, hey. I'm like, hey. And I just went to you.
You're like, peace.
That's exactly what I did. But it's an interesting experience, and for those people who haven't done it, it's something that I highly suggest doing. But for you, do you have any like memorable moments?
You know, there's always something. There's always something. Nothing really. When it first started, I mean, people were getting super creative with stuff, and like we played along, and then there was sort of a fatigue on that, and they're like, "Get over here," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Forget about the, you know. Some people want to say like the ultimates, like when there's that 10 people that come in at the end, you know, they want to have it a certain way, which we understand. Let me turn that off.
That's okay.
Oh, it's my son.
Oh, go ahead. You can take it.
Decline. I'm going to decline because he might be, you know, bleeding from the mouth, crying, or or he could be very happy. I'm just saying. Hold on, let me see. I'm on a Zoom with a very cool podcast. Are you down in the basement playing piano?
Well, you're going to be very happy about this, but I discovered how to use the boombox.
For tapes?
Yes, Dad.
Yeah, I know how to use that. Oh my God. If you guys, I wish I could share. How do I share my screen? I can't, right?
Yeah, you can. If you go down on the bottom and it says
But
share
will
screen.
he show up?
Yeah, he'll show up.
Hold on. Share screen. Hold on. Can you? Let's see. Oh my God, guys. I am on, so don't say anything silly. Hold on. Let me see if I can share the screen. Oh, here we go. Let's see.
No, you're not allowed to.
There he is. We see him.
Oh, you can see him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful that right now, Griffin, I just told him the story about this tape. Hi, Reese.
Hi, Daddy.
And the tape, I played this tape in the boombox that he just showed me. Show him the boombox.
Oh,
and there you go.
Fantastic.
And that's where I played this. And so get yourself a boombox, ladies and gentlemen, and get your tapes out and have your mind blown.
That's awesome.
I love you, buddy.
Great.
I'll see you tonight.
All right, Dad. I love you, man.
Love you too. Okay. Bye. I'm going to stop the share.
That was great.
All that? Okay. Listen, nothing's random, right? But there you go. He's down in the basement, hasn't been there in a long time, and he was excited that he learned how to use it. He thought he was learning how to use it, and I told him I already know. But anyways.
That's
amazing.
amazing.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So cute.
So the meet and greets, yeah. I mean, they are what I'm thinking about is the last tour, and everybody has their, I don't know whether it's true or not because you can't listen to it, but everyone was like, Joe, you're really cool this year. Like the story is like Joe's like really being like awesome at meet and greets. And of course, the first thing I'm like, I'm always awesome. You know what I mean?
Right.
But of course, I have my moments, and sometimes even when I'm keeping it real, I can keep it a little too real. But yeah, I mean, last tour, I had my jean jacket. And I wore my jean jacket every, which I loved, but it was like sort of like my flak jacket. You know what I mean? I felt secure. And like, yes, there was makeup on the whole thing. And I'm blanking on her name, from Boston. Shit. She has Boston in her handle. It's with an M. Is it Meg? No, it's not Megan. She's going to kill me. I'm so bad with names. But she knows. And she would like, that's disgusting. Are you going to wash your jean jacket? And she pissed me off. Everybody else was fine with it. I was perfect. Everyone was like, and that was a big reason why like I was getting high marks that year for the meet and greet, but she had to shit all over my jean jacket. So, no, I'm just kidding. Meet and greet, it's all how you take it. You know what I mean? And sometimes you can have a hard day or a funky week, and you want to keep it real and you don't want to be phony. So like if every time you're just like, hey, ha, hoo, hoo, you kind of just like, you want to be present so you can really have a connection with people. And that's usually how it goes. And, you know, I don't think there's any real advice to play it a certain way. I would say start at the beginning of the line so you can say hi to everybody.
Yeah.
There are still people that run right to their person. Yeah, but it's fun. I think it's a big part of our day. It's kind of the warm up for us, and it's become just part of the routine. And it's important for the fans. It's important for us, and yeah, I'm glad that it's highly recommendable.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked to other people that have like gone with other artists, and yours by far is the best experience because, you know, we actually get a chance to say a couple words and then we take our picture, and sometimes if we're lucky you get ultimate and you can even have a little bit more time, but there's not a lot of artists that do that. So we appreciate it.
No, I don't think it's still the same thing. Like people bug out. They were like, you went into the crowd. That was amazing. Like we've been doing that since 1985. Yeah, you know what I mean? Right. So it's like the best kept secret in pop music. I mean, you know, you go out and God willing, how it's going to be like once we finally, you know, get back out there of if we're going to do that or, you know, by, you know, hopefully our next tour, things will be cleared out. I don't know how that's going to change, but I think eventually, even if it'll be the same soon enough, you know what I mean? Because I don't think we're going to be stopped. And but that's, I don't think people just, it's experience. We have experience, you know, we the same way I would be when I was on Broadway and I would come out and I would bang out, you know, a lot of people, even when they're doing their best, they're signing autographs and they're trying to figure out what to do. And they don't know, you know, cause they don't know the, you know, and I'm out there banging out selfies with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go. Bang, 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 bang. Have a few laughs, a few autographs, but like everybody gets it done and everybody has, you know, a moment. And then, but a lot of people just don't know any better. And the other thing is, you know, I think we all have different degrees of being connected. I think Donnie is, you know, by far the guy who just will not be stopped as far as he knows his connectivity knows no bounds, you know. Yeah. And so when you have a guy like that taking the lead, you know, it's a game changer. That being said, you know, then you see John and he'll give someone like the biggest, warmest hug, you know what I mean? That's just as powerful, you know, and then everybody in between, like just doing their job and doing really just doing their best just to try to keep it real and be grateful. So it's a combination of a lot of things, and it's important to us, you know, your experience, you know, and we know that you spend a lot of time and money and to have a great time.
Yeah. Well, we've always had.
Speaking of time, I have to drive back to Boston with my daughter tonight, so I gotta pack and get ready. And
we appreciate all of your time. Thank you so much.
Any last minute whatever. I didn't want to. Please.
I have one question to ask you that Nikki wanted to ask you.
Okay.
It's one simple question.
Yeah.
What album, or is there an album that you can listen to like over and over and over again? You
know, I think one of my favorite albums ever is actually, I mean, it is from my good friend and collaborator over the years, Emmanuel Kiriakou. And I don't even know if it's streaming. I don't know if he streamed it, but before he was an amazing producer, he made one album, and it's timeless, and the production value is amazing, and the songs are. It's called Favorite Enemy, so it's a little dark, but it's held by a lot of love, and that's it. Just knocks me out every time I hear that, and I can go for a run with that, or just sit in my bed and listen to that. Recently been into Ben Platt's album. If those of you who don't know Ben Platt, but he's pretty freaking famous. But from Pitch Perfect, and he's on The Politician, and famous for Broadway for Dear Evan Hansen, and he has a really beautiful album, which I can actually identify with a lot. Just the sound, the way he sings, the way he story tells. It's something that I feel like I could do the same kind of vibe album wise. I think it's just a beautiful album.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
you
you so much.
Seriously, thank you so much.
Okay.
And we appreciate you coming on and just spending some time with us. Really appreciate it.
Here's to the next 3 years.
Yeah.
With my so-called
Awesome.
Whatever.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you so much. All right. See you later.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Joe.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a great drive.
Yeah.
I will. Thank you.
So
that was an exciting episode.
It was. I hope you guys liked our intro. We did that more so for our community because this has been such a long-standing mission of ours.
Right.
That we wanted to make sure we thanked everyone that we possibly could. And there's so many people to thank that made this possible. Like, really, honestly.
The community effort was amazing, and we are not worthy.
Correct. Like, on Thursday when this all happened. So yes, it happened before the Zoom.
Before our anniversary. It was on our anniversary.
It happened on our anniversary. Like, that was my dream, and it came true.
Which is crazy. But it's just crazy how, like, things all come together when they're supposed to.
Right. What Joe always says is nothing is random. Everything happens for a reason. That's my thing. Everything happens for a reason. But he says nothing is random. And it isn't. It isn't random. Like, it's not random that we did the episode when we did. I feel like it was something that we talked about. Like, it led conversations on the podcast.
Yep.
It made us do some fun things to kind of get out there. And I'm kind of sad that it's over. Like, I'm sad, but I'm so happy at the same time. I
am for me, no sadness here. That was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like mission was truly accomplished.
Yeah.
And of course, we'd love to have him back on. He's a busy dude, but it went as well as we ever could have imagined. Like, it was amazing.
And I was talking to Brooke about this earlier tonight, but there's so many things that we wanted to talk about. We had an outline that was like loaded with stuff. But like, between me and my fangirling, because obviously you heard it in the episode, I just was like, like, I felt like a little, like, I felt like you're talking to your crush. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Well, I mean,
you know what I mean? It wasn't weird, but it was kind of weird. Like, because if you think about it, he was my very first crush.
Right.
So it was weird.
And the thing is, like, first crush aside, you're still a huge fan.
A huge fan. I mean,
so,
I'm a huge fan of him, and a huge fan of him with New Kids on the Block. I was going to say New Kids on the Block. And I'm a huge fan of his solo work. I really, really wanted to talk about And I can't believe I didn't talk about Whatever Night You Want It to Be.
I know.
I'm so mad that
That's
I
on my
didn't
list.
because I loved it so much. And it just, the conversation went as the conversation went.
Right.
And
We only
it wasn't an interview.
So much time.
Right.
We could have sat and talked for hours.
Oh my gosh.
But
I could have
you
listened to
know,
him tell stories
yeah,
all night long. Like,
he's a great storyteller.
he could actually read the dictionary or the phone book, and I would
he
listen
got
to
me
it.
choked up.
Yes, Brooke and I cried.
And I don't cry, you guys, but it just, you know
Yeah.
what? Like, it was, he's amazing.
I was like gritting my teeth, like, don't do it, Nikki. Don't do it. Don't cry. Don't do it. And it just, I couldn't. I had an emotional day. Like, and I'm not going to get emotional now. This is so stupid. Okay, this is so stupid. I can't believe I'm crying. Anyway, so all emotions aside, like it was like one of those things that you never thought was ever going to come true, and it actually came true. And I meant it when I said it. When Joe sang to me, it made me believe that like things that always seemed impossible to me were actually possible.
Yeah.
And that's like things in my life, like outside my new kids realm. It's opened so many doors for me, and I never in a million years thought that this would happen, that this podcast episode would happen. So
I felt it in my teeth, and I knew it would happen. I didn't know when, but the timing was perfect. Everything was perfect. It all was great, and it is great.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have all of you to thank.
Yes,
for
thank
helping
you.
us
Thank you
get
so
to
much.
this place
Yeah.
that we're at now.
I just want to say again, last night was so hard. The Zoom was so hard
To not say anything?
To not say anything. Yes.
Yeah.
And especially after having a couple, it was even getting a little harder. Charlene had to cut me off a couple times because she thought I was going to say something. Because obviously our admins knew, because our admins worked so hard this week. They went through countless episodes.
Yeah.
I'm looking for clips of us. You guys, seriously, you guys. Our admins are the best. Yes. And went through clips of us, like listen to full episodes. And I listened to many episodes of us talking about all kinds of things. Like I was like, why did I talk about that? So many episodes, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I know how they felt. But that was part of the intro. We wanted to do this like kind of time capsule of how this all went down, and I think it turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. And on to the next mission, as Joey said.
Jordan Knight, I'm coming for you.
I mean, I felt like we talked about that on the podcast, like him saying.
We did.
I didn't hear it on the Zoom.
We absolutely did talk about that. We definitely talked about that. I specifically said, I remember saying Jordan.
Well, you said, because he said, well, I know Nikki's a Joe girl. And then he said, so what are you? And you said, I love everybody. But I feel like it was before that. I feel like.
Was it before we started recording?
Maybe.
So, anyway, but yes. I'm coming
so now,
for you, Jordan.
We're coming for you. We're coming for you.
Don't be scared.
Yeah, don't be scared.
I said that to him. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Don't be afraid.
This is going to be a community effort. Again, I'm hoping. And we're going to get Jordan Knight on our podcast.
Yes, we are. Oh my God.
And you're gonna know how it feels. You're gonna be like, oh, this is why Nikki was so emotional.
But
this is
you
why
and I
Nikki
are different.
Was.
I won't cry.
But this is different.
Unless he cries.
Different. This is different. I'm telling you.
Ooh.
When your little girl dreams come true, it's an emotional roller coaster. I'm telling you right now. Like, that's why I was like so emotional, because it's like these things don't happen. Like, this doesn't happen in real life. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Like, because I can think back to when I was a child and
Mm-hmm.
the things that have happened. And it's like, this isn't real life.
No.
Donnie Wahlberg doesn't sing me happy birthday.
No.
Like in my real life.
Where are we living?
Where in the world am I dancing on a cruise ship? And like, where in my life do I go on a ship in the middle of the ocean and I dance with Jordan Knight for
Yeah,
like
what?
Okay, fine. It was for like 15 seconds, but
Right.
still. Like, where does that happen? Where does it happen that Jordan Knight puts his arm around me and like dances in motion? Like,
I get it.
how does that happen?
We talked to Joey McIntyre for over an hour.
Right. We've
Like,
talked to Donnie Wahlberg for like well over an hour.
Yes, twice. Like, what the hell? We are very lucky, and we know we are, and we appreciate it, and we want you guys to know that. Like, we do not take for granted one bit of how lucky we are.
Normal.
And that's why it was so emotional for me. And I said it to Brooke. I was like, what did I do to deserve this? I was like crying, like snot crying. And she was like, it's fine. Like, we deserve it. And
this is a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I mean, you know more than anybody, obviously. And it's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of hard work. And you put your blood, sweat, and tears into it.
Yeah.
And your emotions and, everything. And we were after this like one thing. I mean, obviously, like there's more to it than that, but we were after this one thing and we got it.
Mm-hmm.
So
we did.
That's got to feel like, all of this is for something and even greater than that.
Right. Right.
So that's emotional.
Yeah. See,
even if I am pretty much made of stone, like I understand that that's emotional.
Right. It's just, I mean, every emotion, and I can tell you right now, like I'll tell you right this second, that I was fine until 15 minutes before Joey McIntyre came on. You can ask Brooke.
Yeah, you were good.
I was fine. I was nervous. Like, I was nervous. I'm not going to lie. Like, I was
like
nervous.
A normal nervous.
But I was a normal nervous. And then all of a sudden I just started crying, and Brooke's like, shit. Like, shit. And like, he could have come on. Like, he could have come on at any moment and been early. Like,
right. We were just sitting there waiting, like ready for him.
I'm blowing my nose and like fixing my makeup because it was all running down my face. And so I'm all like hot, like and flustered in the videos because I can tell, like, my eyes are all puffy from crying, and I don't like myself on video, but I'm still gonna share it. We're still gonna share clips of it.
Yep. No, I do not like myself on video, but we will share clips.
Yeah. We're excited to share this with you and share it with the world. And if you're a new listener, thank you for listening. We appreciate you. We have a bunch of other episodes if you'd like to listen. We had Donnie Wahlberg on a couple times. We've had other people on, like Joey Fatone, Roger
Mark
Ortega, Mark Calderon from Color Me Bad, Shane McDermott from my favorite Swans Crossing, and he was another crush of mine. And Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, Keith Coogan, and I'm trying to think of who else. I feel like we're missing somebody, and I'm going to be like, damn it, I missed somebody.
Darn, we might be, but just go and take a look at who we've had on.
Yeah, and we hope to have more people on, you know?
Yes, you guys. Who do you want to see on our podcast? Let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
Tweet at us and them.
Right. So,
you know who I'd like to have on?
Who?
I'd like to have Andrea Barber on.
Yes, I would love to have Andrea Barber on.
I think she'd be great.
Yeah.
So, and also Jordan Knight.
And Jordan Knight, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Andrea Barber, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on.
Jordan Knight, if you're listening.
Yes, we'd love to have you on. Jordan Knight, if you're listening. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. I don't remember where I told them that. Was it the cruise?
I think you did something like, don't be scared. Like, you
no. I know what it was.
No, it was when we met them at the concert.
Yes, it was when me and Michelle stood with them.
But you also said that to Joey, too. You said, don't be scared.
I may have said that to him, too.
Yes, you said, don't be scared. I'm just going to tell you, we really want you on our podcast.
I asked Jordan if I could touch him, like if we could touch him a certain way. And I was like, I have a question to ask you. Don't be afraid. Like, it's fine. We just wanted to know if we could pose like this. And it's okay if you say no. And he's like, oh, sure.
It was nice that you guys asked. That was sweet.
You know, we have to be respectful.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yes. I'm gonna make a quilt for Joey. A bedazzled quilt with all mixed tapes on it. That's what I'm gonna do.
That'd be nice.
I'm not gonna do that, but no. I'm a little crafty. But like paper plates and bedazzled Walkmans are really, that's it. That's about
I'm not crafty at all.
That's about all I'm worth right there.
I thought I might want to try to start crocheting things.
Yeah, I tried that. Nah.
But I don't know. I quickly was like, I'll just buy it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this has been fun. I'm glad that we had to do an outro. We had to like
address,
talk about the excitement. And also, I'm sorry that I got super excited multiple times. I got super excited.
I think people understand.
Oh my gosh. I was like, it was an out-of-body experience. It was an out-of-body experience. I had crazy eyes the entire time.
It was really cool.
We'll see it in the video.
You did not have crazy eyes the entire
time. I sure as hell did.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and his stories were amazing.
Speaking of stories.
Yes, send us your stories. Yes.
Send them in, please.
Yeah, so if you're a new listener and you have some stories that you'd like to share, like we've talked about, we'd love to hear them. We do require that you type them to us and send them to us in an email to mysocalledwhatever@gmail.com. We do that just because this is the way the podcast has always been. We've always read people's stories.
It works.
So send us your stories and we'll read them. And if you have any ideas that you'd like us to cover for the podcast, email us too and let us know.
Yeah. We'd love to hear it.
Yes. All right. Well, that's about it. That was insane.
Insane in the membrane.
I will be forever grateful to all of you guys that made that happen. So thank you again.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
We love you.
I'll be loving you forever. Bye.
Bye.
Hey blockheads, this is DJ AK from NK Airplay Radio, and if you love what the My So-Called Whatever podcast crew is doing, check us out too. NK Airplay is an online radio station playing all your favorite hits from the 80s and 90s, especially the ones from those boys in the band, New Kids on the Block. Listen to artists like Boyz II Men, Debbie Gibson, Tiffany, boy bands, girl bands, and many more. We play artists that are associated with or who inspired the New Kids on the Block, plus some of the artists that inspired us while we were growing up. Check us out on social media at NK Airplay Radio. And download the Live 365 app for your iPhone or Android phone and listen today.